The distinction among Git and GitHub is one of the main things to comprehend when you are hoping to get into the universe of open source improvement. Both of these devices are perfect for various reasons, and the two of them can be valuable in various circumstances. Nonetheless, there are a few key contrasts that you ought to know about when you are hoping to pick one over the other.
Git is a form control framework that permits you to follow changes to your code, and it is an incredible method for monitoring your work. It is likewise an extraordinary method for imparting your code to other people, and it tends to be exceptionally helpful when you are dealing with an undertaking that includes a ton of joint effort. Git is likewise exceptionally simple to utilize, and it tends to be extremely instinctive when you initially begin. It can likewise be exceptionally helpful to monitor your work in a more coordinated manner.
GitHub is an online Git storehouse, that is, cloud-based capacity is presented by this facilitating organization. Git's disseminated rendition control and source code. The board capacities are completely given by GitHub, alongside a few extra elements. Using Git works with coordinated effort. The general population can get to GitHub stores also. GitHub fills in as a systems administration stage for online experts, since designers from everywhere the world might connect with, add to each other's code, and alter or further develop it. Social coding is one more name for the course of interest and commitment. Git is an abbreviation for Global Information Tracker, an open-source apparatus made in 2005. It assumes a crucial part in forming standard undertakings. One can introduce Git in the nearby framework that permits following and recording a venture at each step. The best part being it runs on the cloud, and the web doesn't represent an issue. Git is a form control framework (VCS), a source device that aids in following and overseeing codes. It was intended to help software engineers to work in coordination and following changes in any of the records related with the neighborhood catalog. Dissimilar to other rendition control frameworks, Git is without bother, quick, and totally liberated from cost to utilize. Elements of Git circulation. One of the fine elements of Git is that it has a dispersed framework. It permits various individuals to chip away at a task at the same time without slowing down one another's work. When finished, a client can push or move his piece of the work to a Git vault, and others can pull it locally from the Git store. This component additionally helps, assuming on the off chance that the primary framework goes down. The neighborhood framework that has pulled the most recent piece of the work can re-establish the whole undertaking. Fanning. Git permits clients to work parallelly on various spaces through spreading. Through this, numerous clients can attempt similar component in different ways and afterward combine the one they feel is awesome to the principal branch. Expanding and combining are basic through a couple of Git orders. Clients can make quite a few branches for a solitary undertaking. Secure. Git records all the commits done by the clients on their nearby duplicate. It utilizes SHA-1, a cryptographic calculation, to store the engineer's information while likewise assisting with diagnosing the issues through the log passages. GitHub to Git is the same as a photograph is to a person. It provides a graphical user interface to the command line tool Git. GitHub is designed as a repository hosting service. It also gives a wide range of features such as collaborating on the project, resolving issues, source code management, and exchanging ideas with people around the world. Along with this, it provides the features of Git too. All these look nice, but how they both function is something that is of more importance. A clear picture of functionality helps one in understanding in a much better way. Highlights of GitHub as referenced previously. GitHub has a large number of highlights. These highlights grow the elements of Git. The UI of GitHub permits clients to do all that Git manages without composing the Git orders. It makes speaking with colleagues or designers more straightforward. Resolving issues becomes effortless, as individuals can take them up and work from a distance. Aside from these, GitHub gives us a few additional highlights as follows. It's additionally helpful as to source code the executives and code audits. GitHub significance, sharing code bits and notes quickly. GitHub Stream, a work process to follow all the branch-based exercises at standard spans. GitHub Pages, clients can straightforwardly convey their static website pages that draw over the information and changes from the separate vault. GitHub Understudies Engineer Pack, a space brimming with cloud assets, designer instruments, and programming devices situated towards the advantage of understudies. The vividity of these two stages is something that makes them stand apart from different contenders.
Basis Git. GitHub Production Git was first presented in April 2005. GitHub was first presented in October 2007. The site was subsequently evolved in April 2008. Claimed by Git is kept up with by Linux is kept up with by Microsoft. Application Git is an order line tool. GitHub is a graphical UI. Storage is introduced locally in the framework for use and doesn't need the internet. Can be gotten to on the web. It needs a web association. Function majorly zeroed in on variant control and code conserving. Is significantly centered around web facilitating and code sharing. Client preferences lacks client the executives features GitHub has underlying client the board highlights. It likewise furnishes authoritative and Endeavor level records with limitless public stores and partners.
Git is a version control system that allows developers to track changes in their code.